All right. So this morning I have Ashley Gotch with Surelink Marketing with us today. And Ashley is in the trenches, so to speak, on the daily with online marketing. She's
Right.
working with real estate agents, small business owners, helping them with their online marketing, their social media marketing. So welcome, Ashley. Could you just give a little bit more information about you for anyone that might not be familiar with you?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on here. So I'm Ashley Gotch. I do own Surelink Marketing, as Susan was saying. We are a small marketing company here in Cape Coral. With that being said, though small, we do have close to 350 clients. So our day to day has not, it's changed, but a lot of people are realizing at this time they definitely need some marketing, during the downtime. So I guess a little bit about the business. I do social media marketing mainly for realtors. We do have some small business owners, but it's interesting because they're all within the real estate realm. So home inspectors, mortgage, title companies, everybody of the like. So so it's an interesting time, and I'm sure you're going to ask me a couple questions about what's going on here.
Absolutely. So I just want to say real quick for anyone who hasn't watched any of my interviews or know who I am, I own Florida Future Realty and also centrally offices, which you're familiar with. And so I'm working with obviously my real estate agents and then the small businesses too, and trying to also help guide them in my role of, what should you be doing right now, and what shouldn't you be doing, and, how are we all going to get through this? So awesome. I'd love to just get right into this meat of this conversation so that everyone can learn something today. Um, Obviously, the coronavirus pandemic, we've all been hit with it in some way or another. I guess I would like to just kind of ask you, because I know that you have a lot of clients that you're talking to on every day. What besides like life and health has been their main concern after that you've been hearing, frequently?
Well, of course, when you deal with realtors, you are dealing with, business owners, because that's essentially what they are, that are working off a commission. And in this area, we have a lot of competition. So I'm hearing, and it's interesting because we do have luxury agents, we have new agents that just got into the business, and then we have everybody in between. So I would say the biggest thing that I'm hearing right now is the fear of their business. How's this going to look in the future? What's happening with the market? And where I would guide them to somebody like you or their broker, I can only say to them, what I can say is, just control what you can control right now. I'm not going to let our clients fail. That's my whole business module, is to help them grow their business. So, but what I'm hearing right now definitely is a lot of like uncertainty and, just what's going on with the market. So,
Okay, that seems fair. Okay, so I know I wanted to talk about running like effective ads because I know that's a big part of your business. You run ads, and I've seen your posts. You get a lot of leads for agents and stuff to help them out. I'm curious, have you noticed the cost of leads has gone up, has gone down, has remained the same? Like, what are you experiencing with that?
So it's interesting. So the cost of leads has gone down, and that's only simply because more people are at home, right? So typically, I guess what's the word, the magic sauce behind our ads, we always run them for once a month, for 1 week total, right? So we'll run it on a Friday to Friday, Saturday to Saturday, what have you. We just know that, just so this is the best time for the algorithm. But what's interesting is like everybody's home now.
Right.
So where I would tell clients in the past, hey, you can experience between 70 and 100 leads, I mean, sincerely, we're seeing between like 120 and 250 leads now. So it's good, it's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. The good thing is, like, obviously they've got more opportunities. The bad thing is, I think some agents are just, they're not used to handling something like that. They don't have a team behind them or what have you. So my coaching this week has been like, do the best you can do. I can't help that this many came in. A lot of agents, it's interesting, they'll have us pause it halfway through and then we'll resume it the next week. But definitely the cost of leads has gone down for sure.
Okay, so I like that. And it kind of made me think back when I was a new agent, and this is going back to ancient times. We won't talk about how long that was. You were like two. No, I'm just kidding. Um, so getting a lot of leads is
Mhm.
great, but having some kind of way to reach back out to them and follow up is not like usually like on the forefront of everyone's business model. Like it's
Right.
kind of like, oh, they want to buy something now, pick this one off the tree. They want to sell right now, pick this one off the tree. And then I found, in just normal times, anyone who maybe you didn't reach out with or reach out with enough, you go back and look them up and, oh, they did buy, not with you, but with someone else. So
Yeah.
you lose those opportunities.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting because like, before we so we take and it's a little bit harder on us too, to be honest. There's only 5 of us, right?
Mhm.
So most of our clients that elect us to do it, most of them, we do their lead setup. So we're doing these one by one. So this week we had over 3,000 leads just this week. One by one, we're setting up, right? So you
Okay.
can imagine the chaotic, the mess that caused a little bit. But, it's just like I tell them, we're doing the best and we're working as fast as we can. So what's interesting though, to your point, you said you want to like go back to your past leads. I've definitely been talking to agents about that. I said, look, on your off weeks, when you're done following up with your new leads, make sure you're talking to your sphere. Make sure you're staying in front of them at all times, because those are the people that more than likely are going to elect to refer you in the future. So
Yeah.
don't forget about them.
Now,
So,
have you found like I've had some people that have been like, I don't know, like I don't want to call and be salesy right now. So I'm
mhm,
like, look, well, we're all humans. And so,
right,
call and check up on them
right.
and let them know like what the market's doing, what your business looks like. Ask how they're doing. Is that kind of the same thing you're sharing? Are you seeing some like resistance to want to like call people right now?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing it with some agents, and there's some agents that are like, you know what, it's do or die at this moment, like, get it over with. But what's interesting, a lot of our agents, they do report back to us, which is a good thing. I like the feedback from them. And what I'm hearing is that their conversations are just a lot longer on the phone,
Yeah.
and I told them, like, look, you can't, the inevitable, you can't not talk about the coronavirus. You can't
Right.
not talk about all these things that are happening. So they're having more one-on-one conversations, which I think in the end is going to build just a different level of trust and just building a different type of relationship in the end too. So I think some leads though, they, it doesn't matter what lead gen you go with, right? You're going to have people that just click ads online, and then you're going to have people that are just, they need somebody to talk to on the phone. So
They're really funny.
you gotta differentiate the two. Like, are you looking to buy, or when's your timeline? Whatever it is. But so I'm definitely prepping our agents. Like, hey, ask the right questions, but don't deny the inevitable. What's going on.
Right. Like, let's try to get to the point. I'm finding a lot of people, you know, most of us are locked in our houses pretty much right now. So, they've got some time on their hands. And if I'm locked in my house up in Michigan, it
Mhm.
might be really fun and enjoyable for me to look at beautiful
Yeah.
homes from Southwest
And
Florida.
everybody's on their boats down here cruising
Exactly.
around in the pool, and they're like, it literally snowed the other day where I'm from in Ohio. I mean,
Yeah. Like it's insane. So that's what I am finding some of the ones that I've even just, cause I've, been to spot just kind of to get a feel for what's going on. And,
right.
that is some of them. They're just like, I don't have anything else to do. So I'm just looking at houses down in Florida. I have no intentions on buying. I'm like,
I
dang,
know.
if that ad just cost
Yeah.
me this much amount of money or whatever.
Yeah, and so I guess a little bit of secret sauce with our ads. We I'll put the plug for us. We only generate leads that people have said, look, I'm looking to move to Florida. I'm moving to Cape Coral, moving to Fort Myers, or they write that, or they have a very strong connection here, meaning they have at least 10 friends or more
Mhm.
down here. So it's not like with our leads anyway, so you're not shooting in the dark. They have no clue what Cape Coral, where it's at.
Right.
Um, but still, I do want to warn agents, you have to, when you're on the phone with people, especially if they know about this area, like just know your conversations are a little bit longer, if anything, right now, and
Yeah. And it makes sense. And they have more time on their hands. So like before it was you were reaching someone probably in the middle of their workday. Like
right,
that's been very common where they're searching for homes during work and they're like, okay, well, I'm looking for this, and this, but I got to go back to work. And you're like,
right,
okay, cool. And the conversation's over, but now people are home and they're like, oh, so, like they
Yeah.
just have a little bit more time.
Yeah, some positive things I'll say I heard just this week. People have said, "Hey, I'm in New York, I'm in Michigan, I'm in Connecticut. Once the dust settles, I can't wait to get out of here. I want to move in Florida." And it's like it's good thing that everybody is boating and doing their their leisure activities right now because people are watching. They're like, well, what the heck? I'm sitting here,
Exactly.
in my house. So I think I'm nervous about, just everything in general, but at the same time, it's like, thank God we do live in Florida. People are always going to want to move here,
Right.
so that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I have some customers of mine. They bought a beautiful direct access pool home last year, and they're like, I am so happy to be here instead of in the Northeast where they're from. If we're going to be quarantined anywhere, this isn't too bad. We hop in
Right,
our boat for the day, and I'm like,
right,
yeah, it really isn't too bad.
right,
And it's a little frustrating, with our investors, and they're like, hey, I can't do a seasonal rental right now. And if, they were to purchase something even at an annual basis, there's all of this information out there to say, you don't have to pay your rent. So,
right.
like if you're looking at it as an investment, it's kind of like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, people should pay their mortgage. That's a whole other stuff.
helpful, right?
If you can, pay your mortgage.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of good information about that because I know, some of the bigger news stations were kind of like, don't worry, you don't have to. And then a couple of the people are like, hold on, we've seen this happen before.
Right,
Here's what that might look like. So I'm glad to see some good information on that
right.
come out.
Yeah, we need the facts right now. There's too much conspiracy out there. So,
There is a lot, but it's hard to figure out what's true and what's not. So I
yeah.
think that it makes the agent's
Mhm.
role, I think, even more important because we're here experiencing what is really happening. Because in different states, some real estate is fully locked down. Like
Yeah,
in other areas, they can't even go show a house. They can't even advertise a house right now because they're not supposed to.
right,
So here we're pretty much fully open as long as we're following, CDC guidelines.
right,
I tell my agents, do what makes you comfortable. Like I want you to be washing your hands and using hand sanitizer and, keeping your distance. And I said no open houses. I mean, a long time ago when this first started coming out, because I thought that was a really bad idea. But are you finding, a mix of agents, some that are like business as usual to all the way to the ones that are like, I'm wearing my hazmat suit. If I go anywhere, I'm just not going anywhere.
yes, and it's interesting because in college, you take different segments of classes. So I took a bunch of psychology classes, but I really took to it. So it's interesting as I'm like kind of analyzing what type of agent is like, yeah, I'm wearing my hazmat suit. And the other agent's like, oh, nope, YOLO. So it's, everybody's so different. And like, I will say that from, day one in our business, everybody's so different. But what I can say is, with my clients and just other agents I see out there, I'm so proud that people are starting to train their mind that, you can do a virtual tour, you could go Facebook Live, you could do, use
Right.
technology to your benefit. Because, in the past, it's like, hey, we kind of did it for you, but now you're being forced to learn to do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that's my message to everybody. I think, it doesn't matter if you're a realtor, if you're just a small business owner, you've got to put yourself out there to stay in front of your audience. So, you got to connect your right sphere out there. You've got to connect new customers. You always got to have new customers or pipeline, I guess, coming in, but you have to do video, you know. It's interesting, like how this is like my third Zoom this week being interviewed about marketing. So I got one on Friday, but I see the reason why, so.
So that being said, what do you feel like just from being around this industry for so long, do you see things that you feel like are going to change and stay the same in the future? Or do you see like this just kind of going back to what it was before this happened? Like, where do you kind of see that people are going to end up when this is, over as far as technology and how they're doing their business?
I think the world is definitely going to change, hopefully for the better. There's a lot of positive things that have come out of this, but I think business as usual, I honest to God, don't think it's going to go back to the way it was. I think if anything, agents are a little bit more equipped with the technology and they realize, hey, I can go live and do a Facebook Live on this home and do a virtual tour. So you might pick up, like I have some clients in Miami that, they will sell all the time, sight unseen, to investors because they're going live all the time, or they're sending videos or whatever. So another thing I do want to say real quick though, I've told a lot of our clients, unfortunately, a lot of realtors aren't going to make it through this. A lot of small business, owners are not going to make it through this. But if you have that stigma where everything's negative, 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 right now is the time to just kind of put yourself together and say, hey, I'm the shark in the water. I'm going to make it through this. So keep the positive mindset, and you're going to be okay, but you also want to take this time right now to learn your craft, and learn it well. So a lot of agents use KV Core or Real Geeks or whatever kind of technology, but they don't actually know how to use it. So take the time now to learn all these tools that you have at your disposal, right? So in regard to that, I hope things will go back to, the way that they were, but I don't think that they are. I think, I think real estate's going to change. You're going to have buyers they're going to just understand, hey, I've got to see this home virtually, and that may not be a bad thing though,
It's definitely interesting. And I think too, just in Southwest Florida specifically,
right,
most of our buyers come from somewhere else. So if they haven't already been here, to not even have maybe stepped foot in Cape Coral before, and
right.
then to say, oh yes, but you're going to purchase totally sight unseen, is maybe a little more far-fetched than, hey, they were down, 6 months ago and they were planning another trip, but they can't come now. Hey, I'll go virtually show you. And now they know the areas and what they're kind of looking for. And that should be an easier scenario.
Right. Right. Yeah. I'm very proud though of everybody that I see doing, going live, because it's not easy. I teach a whole course on, the fear of going live and, breaking down those barriers that everybody has. I unfortunately gained a ton of weight over the years. And so that was my barrier. Some agents I hear, oh, I don't like my voice. Well, now I think a lot of people are just saying, whatever, don't care. I got to do this. And I'm proud to see that. So
here's another question for you. So obviously you have embraced video for a long time. I've done video for a long time. How do you, approach an agent? Like, yeah, it's easy to maybe go look at a house or, do whatever. And are you encouraging them to just go live just to kind of be themselves and who they are, to build some kind of, rapport about who they truly are too? Or are you just saying more like, hey, keep it about the business and the stats and the whatever? Like, where do you kind of feel?
So you're like me. When I moved to Florida, matter of fact, I saw your YouTube videos a long time ago. I put myself through college on YouTube. I mean, I sincerely did. So I really value video, not just live video, not Zoom, whatever it is, just video in general. So I do with our clients, I do have, a list of, okay, here's some video topics, because what I do realize, some agents, they just need the guidance. But
Right.
truth be told, I'm like, you have to be authentic. So the other day, Jimmy and I, we went live. We did Never Have I Ever. And I mean, I totally embarrassed myself. But what's interesting is I had other agents watching it, and they're messaging me, oh my God, you guys are so funny. I need to get with you. I didn't intend to get business from that. I just was living my life, I mean, I'm 30, so I think, I film maybe too much of my life. But, at the same time, like, that's just, it is a generational thing in a way, but at the same time, like, you have to be authentic, because I think people can read between the lines when you're not.
Yeah.
So I say to agents, like, even if you're, swimming with the grandkids in the pool, or you're doing whatever, you're cooking, whatever it is, film it. People, they're bored right now. They need something to watch. And you will build a rapport, just like, whether or not, and I say this to everybody, whether or not you like the Kardashians, they are where they are for a reason.
Yeah.
They've opened up their life. People have kind of flocked to them, and it's kind of the same thing with me. I mean, I'm not a star, but,
Yeah.
I would go to Publix and like, hey, you're that girl on, because I own another business, but like, hey, you're that girl on Facebook Live. Like,
Right.
let's see. So it's interesting, but I say go for it. Be yourself.
I like that advice. I can get behind that. And the funny thing that you say, like, as far as content is concerned right now, the people that have been, and we all do, there's nothing wrong with it, consuming the
Right.
Netflix and the Hulu and all these kind of things.
Right.
Um, I don't know about you, but I'm at the end of my shows. And
Yeah.
if all of our actors and actresses are in quarantine too, we're not going to have any new stuff to watch for a while. So like we might be it.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, obviously Jimmy and I have our shows, my husband and I have our shows we watch, but if I'm not working, I'm sincerely watching YouTube. I get more, I don't know, I like to learn. So I'll watch like cooking things or vlogs, I'm just interested in other people's lives.
Yeah.
And again, that's what I'm saying. It might be a generational thing. It could be, but I do think that, once you start doing something consistently, so that could be, if it looks like, okay, one video a week, that's consistent. You're doing something at least once a week, and you're going to build an audience around that. So
Agreed. I know that for me, like I used to do, I go through periods of like a whole bunch of videos, and then you notice when you don't make one for a while, like your viewership just tanks,
yes.
and then it's like you have to like re-rev it back up. So if you can just stay consistent, whatever that looks like.
Right.
Or people get used to knowing, oh, every Tuesday at 10 or whatever, you're going to be on, and they're like waiting for it, and then you miss one, and they're like, what happened to Ashley? Where'd she go?
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I do get, I'll go, I'm not perfect. So there's a couple weeks where I'll go, I'll film a little video here and there, and people are like, are you guys okay? I'm like, I'm just, you get busy. But it's interesting because people really do reach out like, are you doing okay? So
Yeah, it's too funny. And like you said too, like it's interesting to me, like people you don't even know have been watching and following you, and like maybe they've never reached out or commented, but again, like I'll bump into them at a realtor event. Oh my God, you're the reason I got into real estate. And I'm like, I don't even know him. Like they didn't even come join my brokerage, which is fine, but you know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, that's so cool, that got you into real estate. So
well, it's true. If somebody were to go to YouTube right now, type in Cape Coral, Florida, or even Cape Coral real estate, obviously you're going to see a bunch of your videos. I mean, you pretty much own YouTube at this point, So yeah, I tell agents, hey, do your YouTube videos, and can't say everybody does, but it is what it is.
And the lives are so important too. I mean, if anyone's connected with you, they're getting those notifications until they turn them off because they get sick of hearing from you. But like a lot of them are following the live, so pop in for, just like you said, even a short couple of minutes, and hey, look at this view, or whatever you're doing.
We're very
tough right now because everything's closed, but
yeah. I mean, and it's have you ever had that feeling where you're like, oh, YouTube made me buy this, or this advertisement made me buy this? Well, here I am, I live in a gated community. We don't have a pool. We have a community pool. But I'm like, you know what? Everybody's on their boat. They're swimming with dolphins right now. They're doing all these things. I'm like, we're buying a boat. And Jimmy's like, seriously, Ashley, that's a big investment just because you're watching everybody else do it, But you can be influenced very easily online by a lifestyle or whatever it is. So I would say to the agents, keep filming those, you're out on the boat, you see the dolphins, keep filming that, because I can assure you in Michigan, they're not looking at dolphins right now. So
exactly. Well, I'm like super nature girl. So usually you're going to see like pictures of my bees and my flowers and like, but that's who I am. And, some people are going to connect with that. Some people are like, oh, she's a little nature girl. And they might not connect, and some of those like personal ones, but
yeah. And you know what, it's interesting, the other day you took a picture of the moon, and it influenced me to go outside. I was like, I want to see this ring around. I didn't see it.
That wasn't the moon.
Oh, what was it? What was some weird planet. So, I know, she's like, that's interesting. What is that?
But like a few people commented, and they're like, they said they had went out to, even and I didn't know, but no, and we're thinking it was Venus. But so last night, speaking of, I went out with my actual camera, because that was just a cell phone photo, and I got a closer one, but I'm going to post it. I haven't posted it yet. It literally looks like a hole in the sky.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, you don't know who's watching your posts. Yeah. It influenced me, and there's a lot of things you've done too, just your natural, like just a lot of things that like I was influenced. So I think that's good to say that, a lot of people don't realize who's watching your, your page. And also realtors, if they do not have a business page, get a business page right now.
Oh yeah.
That I
You're
can't,
right.
I ran into that a lot, in the past couple of weeks. New clients that come to us, they like, I don't have an Instagram. I don't have a business page. I can't believe it. How are you operating a business?
Yeah. And the other thing is too, that I think is so important, is to have their own website or some kind of landing page
Right,
somewhere, because so many agents don't have that either.
right.
And I've had, where I've just tried to Google an agent and I can't find anything.
Mhm.
I'm like, you don't want to be a
You know,
secret agent. Get out.
there's Yeah, they're looking. I mean, I could go into depth of all of that too, but it's, your sellers are looking, buyers are looking you up online. We live in a world now, especially like if you're going to work with an agent you've never met in person, you're working virtually, they're looking you up online. You have to have some kind of a presence. So
Agree.
that's
So I have a couple more questions, and then I know you're super busy and I'll let you get going, but I did want to know, like, how has this affected your business? Like, did you lose clients, gain clients, anything negative or positive that, for you specifically with your business?
so no, we have definitely gained clients, but I am totally different than a lot of people. I've always, I've grown up around business my entire life. My dad, owns a lot of businesses. And so I've always had the right, I guess, mentality where it's like, I'm not going to fail. Like there's no way, I'm always going to grow. So how I decided to grow our business and how I started pivoting, everybody's talking about pivoting, right? I don't have the pool. I don't have the boat. I mean, even if I did, I think I would be like right now drowning myself in work to stay, in front of everybody. But at the same time, though, you have to take this time to learn something different. So I decided, hey, I'm adding another service. I'm going to add more value to my current business. And of course, from that, now I'm attracting people from California, Michigan, wherever it is, because like I always knew I could do that. I just, we had a great economy. So people were just playing it safe, but now I think that this is the time you have those great ideas, put them, from pen to paper, so no, we've grown in the marketing aspect and obviously the Matterport business. We're very blessed with that. Jimmy just picked up 46 homes this week. So, but with that said, if you're listening to this, if you do a Matterport tour, we really truly are only doing them if they're vacant. I have had, it's interesting. I had most agents, they understand why we're doing them only if they're vacant, and some agents that are very upset that we're not going to go shoot their homes. So, yeah, I mean, it's, and I think a lot of people I don't think it's that they're like upset because they're just rude people or whatever it is. They just feel like maybe this is my last resort. So those people, I'm saying, look, if we can't do the Matterport, take your cell phone out there and go, film a video or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So no, we've pivoted this entire time. I lost one client. He unfortunately just had some health issues, and he's like, I can't deal with all this right now. So,
Yeah.
so it's just
It's just he couldn't do it.
yeah.
So, what else was I going to say? We talked about changes in the future. So here's one that, speaking of that, so you've decided, look, if there's people living here, we're not going to go do the Matterports or whatever.
Right.
And I can totally respect that. I think that agents need to have that too. Like, what are your boundaries and what do you want to do right now? Are you fully open for business as normal? Or, yes, I'll help you sell your house, but here's what that's going to look like. And
Right.
own that. And so that you're comfortable, because I think that agents a lot of times get stuck into situations where they promise something, overpromise something that they really never wanted to deliver. And then they're upset.
Right. You have to be confident. And with me, it was an age thing. I started this when I was 22 years old. Right. So about 8 years almost now. You have to be confident in, your business, but you also have to have your morals. You have to have that self-respect. Right. So for me, unfortunately, it has been thousands of dollars that we've turned down. We've tried to, but with us, though, I am, like I said, you could do this, or, hey, here, call this other photographer. So it's interesting because now we're working with our competition like almost daily, if not weekly for sure. So that's been actually nice. It's cool. We're all sharing the same experience. But I think, you have to make money. You should never overpromise, any kind of service you're ever going to do. But you have to be confident and stand your ground too, and keep yourself healthy first.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I see a lot of agents, not my clients, but I see a lot of agents, they're still showing homes. They're not wearing any kind of mask. They're just, out and about doing this and that, business as usual. And, that's just them. So
And I think it boils down to that too. Like, I'm not going to worry about how you are handling your business, but hey, here's how I'm choosing to handle mine. And you either
right.
work with me or it doesn't work out, and that's fine. But I think that, it is the time to make those maybe tough decisions, because like I have, a couple of my agents that are older that, have had health issues in the past, that they're like, if I catch this, I might not make it, so
Right.
you need to be super careful. Like, you can't, and I know that they need money just as much as they need their health too. So it's like this, how does that kind of balance out?
Yeah, logistically, it's a nightmare, of course, across the board. It doesn't matter. It is. But that's why I said, like, I tell everybody, control what you can. So if you are immune compromised or you have some underlying health issues, you can control, by saying no. That's okay to say no. And I think 9 out of 10, like when we've said no to the Matterports, 9 out of 10 of the agents have respected our reasoning, right? And it's not that like, okay, we said no and we never got any more business. It's just at the time, like, this is not right for us, so it's been, logistically though, it is a nightmare.
And I do think too, like, as much as I want agents to, make their videos and work on their business and,
Right.
do all these things, I still think we have to look at the balance of it all and not overwork or overstress. So like, you deserve downtime. Like, if you have a day where you're like, you know what, I feel like getting into my pajamas and watching TV, do it, because you probably need it.
Yeah.
And so I've seen some posts that are like overachiever posts, and I'm like, I'm an overachiever, so I get it.
Yeah.
I'm totally, high D, blah, blah, blah. So I can understand it, but at the same time, like, you have to have some balance. And like, I worry that some people see that and think like, oh my God, like, I'm not good enough because I'm not out doing all these things. And it's like, do what you can do in the moment, but don't, like you said, like, hide away and not try it all.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, like what, I didn't say to begin with though, when this first all started, we all just came off a season, or we were actually right in the middle of season, like it, so we all were, working like crazy people as it was. But when this all started, I know how I am. And I'm one of those people that I can get burned out extremely easy because 350 clients, 5 employees, it's, the balance is there, but kind of not so. But I'd say the first 2 or 3 days, I took no meetings. I knew, I was like, you can't do everything,
Right.
So I literally just kind of took a couple days. I was supposed to be on vacation in Las Vegas. That didn't happen, but whatever. So I took a vacation on my couch, but, I took that time to like read I read my book, and, I just kind of like got in my little Zen zone, and then I went back to work. But I know, like, my husband will keep me grounded for sure. Like, if I work 12 days straight, he's like, you take 2-3 days off. You cannot keep going at this speed, Ashley. So it's important to, yes, you have to work. You should have a little bit more work than downtime, but you do have to have that downtime.
Yeah.
So,
And I agree. For us, like, it was definitely like we were hit smack dab in the middle of season, and it was like, oh my gosh. And, it was the whole, now we kind of understand a little bit of what it looks like, but then we had no idea. Are we getting fully shut down? Are the
right.
deals that are under contract even going to be able to close? Like, are we going to be able to show houses again? Like, no one knew like what was going on. So it was stressful, of course. And I think that I'm actually going to be doing in the next couple of days a new report of the market snapshot update and what that looks like. And the numbers are actually really good in March, but I feel like that's because there was such that push to get everything
Get it done. Let's close.
already under contract before this happened. So I think May's numbers will tell the tale. But I'm sure just from all your customers and stuff, like, overall, like, we're not really seeing like anything crazy yet.
Right.
you know?
And at night, like I said, I mean, thank God we live in Florida. I mean, every market's so different, you know. You could have a recession in half the country and then Florida, you know, wherever people move to and vacation. I mean, I feel like we're all still going to be, it's going to, maybe not business as usual, but you're still going to have people that, you know, have money and they're going to want to buy a home here. They're going to want to invest here. You're always going to have that. I mean, it's not, you know, some parts of the country they don't have too much attraction to wanting to be there, right? So
Yeah.
it's
Most of the people that I'm talking to that are up there, they're like, we want to get out of here.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So it's like, okay, great, good thing we live here. But
agreed.
no, I mean, I would tell all the agents, so my biggest thing right now is just control what you can control, like your mindset, you know, stay positive, use technology, you know, that is the biggest thing I could say right now. And don't, at the same time, like, don't, how would I say it? I guess don't put too much out there. Like there, you could post too much. Like I get these agents that they've never had a page, then all of a sudden they post like 40 things in a row. So don't do that. I've had to tell that to a couple people this week. But just stay cool online. You know, just stay in front of people and do your thing.
Yeah, and I love that. Just, and you know, like, don't overwhelm, but you know, don't be afraid to be yourself and put it out there.
Yeah.
So I guess final question. I really appreciate your time today, and I'm going to be sharing this with, you know, the viewers and whatnot. If someone does want to reach out to you for some marketing help, what's the best way to reach you?
Honestly, by my cell phone. So I will leave it in the comments down below for sure. You can always reach me on Messenger. I'm on Facebook all day long. It's interesting. I get a lot of business through Messenger itself, you know. I'm like, how'd you find me? They're like, I don't know. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give our price. We're $3.99 a month. You know, we post every single day, twice a day. You do get a website and a CRM if you elect to have it. We run the leads for you. We set up the leads for you, and I coach you once a month for about an hour. And all in all, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I think a lot, and that's one more thing I'm going to say. I do have a finance degree as well, so I think a lot of people, they are definitely shifting their marketing dollars to different, you know, things. And I say try that. You know, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. If you're paying, I'm not going to say the company, but this huge company $2,000 a month, you know, shift it to different outlets. You know, now's the time to try different things if you can afford to do so. So
Now, oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
you're fine. You're fine.
it just popped in my head. So if someone were to sign up with you, like, let's just say today, like, how long until like it's kind of set up and running? How long till they can anticipate receiving some leads to start working with?
Honestly, we always start on a Monday. So it's today, Wednesday. So we would start the following Monday. So next week, we always run our ads on a Friday. So if you start Monday, you would get your first set of leads, you know, on Saturday next week. So we're pretty, we're
Within a
pretty
week, they
quick.
could be
Yeah.
expecting. Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty quick. And then the website, just, you know, if you decide to use it, it is an Agent 3000 website. Sean Summer, he owns that. He will get it set up like 5 minutes. So, you know, agents, I think a lot of agents love that because, like you said, they don't even have a website. So we give them a website if they decide to use it. But yeah, we're pretty efficient. So
Awesome. Well, this sounds really, really good. And, you know, I hope that you guys continue to stay well, and you
yes,
know,
you
we'll
too.
all get through this together, right? As they
Yeah, we will. Grace to God. Yeah, it's but you know what? It's cool to say, hey, we lived through it. Once we all get through all this, it's going to be something, you know, that we all look back on and we're like, wow, it was a crazy hurricane, you know?
Yeah. I need to make t-shirts, survive the COVID-19 of 2000.
Yeah, of 2020. I know. So awesome. Well, thanks for having me, and
Absolutely.
definitely we'll be in touch.
Sounds good. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye bye.